Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Eric Coffin. I'm here from the November 2018 edition of the Metal Investors Forum in Vancouver. I'm here with Patrick Downey, the CEO of Orezone Gold, ORZ. ORE is the symbol. You put out an interesting news release this week, Patrick. It was almost a sort of a compendium of hires, if you will. You added quite a few names to the management and the project list. Can you tell me what was the company's thinking behind all these additions?
Well, to build a project, you have to have a great team of people, and I think we have really done that now. We've brought on a country manager who has been there, done it before with Roxgold. He was most recently in another part of West Africa, but come back to do this for us. Came highly regarded by Roxgold, by the way. We've put in our construction manager, just come off of B2's Fekola, so right. This guy knows what he's doing. We've just brought in our engineering manager to look after all of the engineering. Lycopodium are now well into the detailed engineering. So we just really want to let people know that this project is really advancing at the rate of knots we said it was going to advance at. And we've brought on a team of people that know how to build it, know how to run it. And we've got a very strong technical shareholder behind us, which is RCF. And we keep them appraised of all of this, and they're extremely pleased with the group of people that we've brought on here, the level of experience and competency, etc. It's not a huge team, it's just right. A focused, good team.
Right.
And the other part of that we wanted to say is, we also are looking at some really exciting stuff here with the project, and that will come in a little bit later, say year 2 or 3, and we want to show that we can continue to do that as well. So that's a big part of it.
The stuff that you've been working on. I mean, you've had a few news releases out of this. I mean, things like the sulfide zones and stuff like that. That doesn't change the overall project timeline. I mean, you're still kind of looking at the same construction start, the same projected.
Absolutely, So the oxides are still the main focus right off the bat. They're free digging. The first number of years are very high grade. The all-in sustaining costs on those ounces will be somewhere in the region of 400, 420. So very, very high margin ounces for us. But one of the key things when people said, great IRR on the project, great NPV, right. But your production profile drops off. Well, we really couldn't talk about that until we had our homework done about what our next steps were.
Right.
We've done significant work on that. I think people should look at some of the drill results that have come out of P17 South.
Right.
It's a sulfide right on surface. There is an M&I resource on part of it already, but I can tell you it's the same stuff as we continue to drill. Mm-hmm. That M&I is about 2.7 grams, and it's free milling, 92% recovery. What we really wanted to look at was what other parts of the ore body could add to that so we could build up. We were looking at something in the region of 2,000 tons a day sulfide. So it's a small crushing plant, small mill. What surprised us was the continuity of the better grades within 3 zones, SIGA, MAGA, and right. P8, P9. The overall grade of the sulfides is about 1 gram underneath the oxides, but these are well above 1.2, 1.3 grams, good recoveries, thicknesses of about 30 to 40 meters mining width.
Okay.
So we had our consultants, including RPA, to look at these, to make sure we had the right level of continuity. And you'll see an announcement coming out here pretty soon about what our next steps and plans are. We are extremely excited about it. We think this is going to be a game changer for us in terms of our production profile, the net present value of the asset, the life of mine of the asset. It's just a totally different project from what it was 6 months ago.
So, and what's going on the project now? I mean, you must be getting pretty close to starting. You did a couple of significant equity financings the last year. Have you got enough to kind of get going on earthworks and stuff like that? Like, you're going to kind of start the process?
So we are in the first phase of what's called the resettlement plan. That's gone very well. We had the local government people out there last week give us full marks on it, so we're well down the track with that. We'll spend about 3.3 million on that in the first, part of it, which will go into part of Q2.
Right.
What that allows us to do is start the early stage earthworks, and we'll likely spend 5 to 8 million on that next year. We'll spend about $2 million in the next 4 to 6 months on the engineering, and that will continue to ramp through. So all of the things that we have planned to do, we will do.
Right.
And that keeps us on track to build the mine and commission it by October 2020. And we got US dollars about 38 million in the kitty right now. I would expect that that will take us right into Q3 based on our burn rate, but it really ramps up after that. Right. The real construction, this mill can be built in 12 months.
Right.
If you were building it anywhere else, you would build it in 12 months, maybe 14, but we have to have that water supply and we have to have it tested. So I do not want to go into it going, oh, we can do it in 2020, and then something goes wrong with the water supply and there's a big oops. We're going to do it in 2019, make sure we do it right. We spend a bit of money doing it up front, but we take the risk away. Right. And that's what happens. So the big spend's Q4 2019 right into 2020.
Now, I assume all these government meetings and stuff, part of that, maybe tangentially, was about this, I don't know, restricted zone, whatever you want to call it. You're still feeling fairly confident those ounces come back into the mine plan?
I'm 100% confident.
Okay.
We've done the mine plan.
Yeah, okay.
What we haven't put out to the market is we put a mine plan, we've given it to the government, they've accepted it, but we don't have any resources.
You need to get the piece of paper.
Well, no. I think they're ready to give us the piece of paper. Right. It's that we still have no published resources because they were never done. So that will be updated and by RPA, which will also include the P17 South drilling, so they show people what that looks like. So that will come out pretty quick because it sort of looks embarrassing if you announce a set of reserves, but you get no resources and then 43-101 that goes with it.
True. Fair enough.
So the government have been, they have reviewed everything we've done. We've done it all to the ESIA process that they wanted. Yeah. So they're signed off. Okay. We're going on the restricted zones.
Okay. Well, I mean, there you have it. I mean, they've got a full team there now. I mean, I always say when it comes to these development stories, I'm sort of agnostic in most cases about whether the company builds it or gets bought out by somebody else who wants to finish the job. But I don't think there's a lot of doubt that if you want to get the best valuation during this process for any company, the company itself has to be seen as being serious and capable and willing to actually build the mine. And in the case of Orezone, you've got a management team that's done this several times before and can unequivocally look a potential acquirer in the face and go, we don't actually care if you make a bid because we're building it anyway, because we know what the NPV is, so it's fine.
Well, I'd like to add one little point on that is the key thing that you should look at Orezone as well is, the senior management and directors are big shareholders of this company. Yeah. And I'm talking about myself, Mike Halverson, Joe Conway, our VP of Exploration, our COO, we're all big shareholders here. So we're going to be motivated to do the right thing. Yeah. Be it build it, or if the right offer comes in, to sell it. For us, it's really all about value for the shareholders.
And I can say to viewers that perhaps don't know Orezone, it's a company I've followed in the newsletter for a long time. It would behoove you, if you're someone introducing yourself to the company, to go and actually check the SETI filings, because you will find that this is a company that has consistent insider buying when the insiders feel the valuation isn't fair to them. And the gentleman sitting to my left, from your view, is somebody who's consistently one of those buyers. I can tell you, Patrick is a guy that's quite willing to buy the stock from others because he clearly feels it's quite undervalued. And there's an insider buying to an extent you don't generally see it with these companies. With this one, he's not fibbing about that. It's easy enough to check.
Yeah. Well, great.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Absolutely. That's what you got to do.
Great story. ORE.V. Take a look at it. Thanks very much.